I want to tell you why you don't fit. You don't fit for a reason. You don't fit because you look around and you see yourself and you compare yourself. You compare yourself to other people. You compare yourself to people in your role that maybe don't have the same care. They don't take the same focus. They don't see the details the same way that you do. The reason that you feel this way is because you don't have the mindset that other people have. You don't have the same engine that other people have. The engine that you have is this excitement and this desire to create things. And they don't always need to be your things. They can be other people's things. In fact, you find the most joy in creating other people's things, other people's visions, other people's ideas. Somebody starts to say, what if? And you lean forward. You think to yourself, yes, I'm ready for this because I know how to implement this sort of vision. And the challenge that you come across on a regular basis is that you're comparing you to those around you, and that's why you feel like you don't fit. So you don't fit for a reason. You don't fit because you're not meant to fit. You're not meant to be around a bunch of other folks who don't think like you, who don't have the same threshold or the same bar of excellence that you do, who don't take the same level of ownership that you do. Because you, my friend, are an intrapreneur. An intrapreneur is someone who owns the fullness of their entrepreneurial mindset without feeling judged for not being an entrepreneur. You might not be the business owner, owning the LLC, owning the corporation to build this thing, but you are the builder. You are the creator. You are the one who's rallying, who's galvanizing others around an idea, around a project, around a dream, around a vision. But your categories are all mixed up because historically people have told you you need to hustle and you need to be the one and you need to be out front and you need to pound the pavement and all these things. Gary V's of the world, the Hermosies of the world. That's not true because they're not the ones who did all the work. They'll let you know that they did, but they're not because it doesn't take one person. It's not a me scenario. It's a we scenario. That's what intrapreneurs are. Right? We carry the entrepreneur mindset, the entrepreneurial spirit, but we don't have the desire to go out in front, to steal the limelight and to pioneer something that is not our own. We take that pioneering spirit and we build it inside. And we look around at employee mindset folks, at people who want to just do the same thing every single day and go down the checklist all week and all quarter and all year, and it's excruciating to watch. But that's not you, that's them. Because you're an intrapreneur. The single most important role in the entire organization. Somebody who can come in and be the surrogate for the visionary. Take their vision internally and spread it around. Delegate certain things, own certain things, finish, build, design, implement, create, SOP, operationalize. And here's the thing, all those little areas of your life where you've decided to be interested in something else, where you've decided to lean into a new opportunity to learn, where you've decided you've committed yourself to the pain of not knowing what to do or how to do it, yet you figured it out. Those other people didn't do that. And there's no shame or judgment on them, but they didn't do that. So they don't have the skill sets that you've developed. They don't have the mindset that you've developed. They don't have the tenacity that you've developed. And here's the thing. You're unique. You're high performing. You have a mind that simplifies the complex. And it's a beautiful thing. And people don't even recognize you exist. But hear me out. Intrapreneurs will be the number one sought after skill set in the next 2 to 3 years, guaranteed. Well, Scott, how can you possibly say that? Well, here's why. Because people aren't going back to their dusty, musty day jobs and being unfulfilled. People are sick of not being unfulfilled. The pandemic showed people what it could be like to have freedom. So they started to express that freedom. Now here's the thing. You're the pioneer of freedom. You didn't want to stick into one little box in an organization and do the same damn thing every single day. You wanted variety. And somebody somewhere told you that variety meant that you couldn't stay focused. They said multitasking, and then people started to throw multitasking down the pit as if it was the worst thing ever. What if you just have the ability to see more and see before other people can see? What if you have the ability and the experience that says, you know what? When I do this part of this project, I know that the creative team is going to need a little something. I also know customer support would really be helpful. It would really be helpful for them to know what's coming. And by the way, finance might need to know when this thing is going to be finished. Employee mindset people don't think that way. Well, why not? Because they believe they just follow a process and get it done. And somewhere, the tooth fairy of processes comes and takes their works and bring it to somebody else. But you're a bridge. You're a bridge maker and a bridge creator. You make sure that there are no gaps in the organization. You're a gap filler, an internal innovator. You can call yourself whatever you want to, but you need to recognize just how valuable you are as an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs, visionaries, founders, CEOs, they need to be best friends. For so long, the entrepreneur has been elevated to this unsustainable, unrecognizable level to pretend that they do all the work. They don't do all the work. It's okay that they get the credit because that's their vision. And it's our goal as entrepreneurs to build it, to grow it, to scale it, and then we move on. We move on to the next project, to the next phase, to the next client, to the next, whatever the next thing is for you. What you need to hear today is that intrapreneurs are not some second-class citizen in the overall business world. That role that you fill is a vacancy, not in some small two-person startup, in every single organization in the entire world. Name one that it doesn't exist, and we can talk about it. Hit me up in the comments. Every single organization we've worked with, when there's an entrepreneur skill set that comes in and fills a vacancy, there's never no gaps. There's always gaps because there's always gaps in mindset. There's always gaps in skill set. There's always gaps in process. There's always gaps in operations. There's always dynamics and cultural gaps. There's gaps everywhere. And guess what? The vision does not get fulfilled unless those gaps are filled. So you're a gap filler as an entrepreneur. You operate with an entrepreneurial mindset, an entrepreneurial spirit. You love the variety. We like to say that you go across the swim lanes, right? You're not swimming in the lanes, you're swimming across the lanes. Because you know what? You're a problem solver. And as a problem solver, all problems don't stay in their own lane. They get peppered throughout the entire pool. You need to figure out how to fix them because guess what? They're not all priorities. They're not all priorities. So you get to keep that desire and that rhythm and that cadence for variety by solving problems, by fulfilling what's needed for the vision. It could be creating a course. It could be hosting a fulfillment event. It could be helping accounting figure out how are we going to get the AR done. It could be building a sales team. It could be making sure that your CRM has designations so that you can see clearly segmentations of every single lead in order to drive revenue for the organization. It doesn't matter what it is. Your expression is needed. Your expression is important. So if you are like I used to be, where you feel like, man, people kind of diminish you, or you're told to stay in your lane, you should back out of that lane as quickly as you can, because if they don't see your value, then they're not worth the value that you bring. Number two, I'm sure there's more than two, you need to step into that value and own it, because it is the most critical role that every organization has. Things do not get done unless those gaps are filled. There is always a gap from where they're at to where they want to go. Who's going to fill the gap? It's you. Entrepreneurs fill the gap. It's time to go do it.